from the second book of Krishna, chapter 8, Lord Krishna fight with Banasur. So Banasur had 1,000 hands. So when Banasur saw that his soldiers and commander had been defeated, his anger only increased. This is the demoniac mentality. Yeah? He thought it wise to stop fighting with Satyaki, Krishna's commander-in-chief, and instead directly attack Lord Krishna. Now having the opportunity to use his 1,000 hands, he rushed toward Krishna, simultaneously working 500 bows and 2,000 arrows. Such a foolish person could never measure Krishna's strength. Immediately, without any difficulty, Krishna cut each of Banasur's bow into 2 pieces, and to check him from going further, made his chariot horses lay on the ground. The chariot then broke to pieces. So after doing this, Krishna blew his conch out, Panchajanya. That's where we stop at the day, so we will continue. So there was a demigoddess named Kotara who was worshipped by Banasur, and their relationship was as mother and son. So Mother Kotara was upset that Banasur's life was in danger. So she appeared on the scene with naked body and scattered hair. She stood before Lord Krishna. Sri Krishna did not like the sight of this naked woman, and to avoid seeing her, he turned his face. So Banasur, getting this chance to escape Krishna's attack, left the battlefield. All the string of his arrows, bows were broken, and there was no chariot or driver. So he had no other alternative than to return to his own city. He lost everything in the battle. So this is a wonderful lesson that we should learn. Being greatly harassed by the arrows of Krishna, all the associates of Lord Shiva, the hobgoblins and ghostly bhutas, pretas and kshatriyas, left the battlefield. Lord Shiva then took to his last resort, that he released his greatest death weapon, known as Shivjvara, which destroyed by excessive temperature. It is said that at the end of this creation, the sun becomes 12 times more scorching than usual. Just wait for that. No AC will work at that time. This 12 times hotter temperature is called Shivjvara. And when the Shivjvara personified was released, he had 3 heads and 3 legs. And as he came toward Krishna, it appeared that he was burning everything into ashes. He was so powerful that he made blazing fire appear in all directions. And Krishna observed that he was specifically coming toward him. So as there is a Shivjvara weapon, there is also Narayanjvara weapon. Narayanjvara is represented by excessive cold. So when there is an excessive heat, one can somehow or other tolerate it. That's why we would like to stay in the warmer places. But when there is an excessive cold, everything collapses. This is actually experienced by a person at the time of death. At the time of death, the temperature of the body first of all increased to 107 degrees. And then the whole body collapses and immediately becomes as cold as ice. If you have seen somebody leave their body, you can see this effect that their body becomes so cold. Then you know for sure that soul is no longer present in the body. So to counteract the scorching heat of the Shiva Jwara, there was no other weapon but Narayan Jwar. When Lord Krishna saw that the Shiva Jwara has been released by Lord Shiva, he had no other recourse than to release Narayan Jwara. Lord Sri Krishna is the original Narayan and the controller of the Narayan Jwara weapon. When the Narayan Jwara was released, there was a great fight between two Jwaras. When excessive heat is counteracted by extreme cold, it is natural for the hot temperature to gradually reduce. And that is what occurred in the fight between Shiva Jwara and Narayan Jwara. Gradually, Shiva Jwara's temperature diminished and Shiva Jwara began to cry for help from Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva was unable to help him in the presence of the Narayan Jwara. So unable to get any help from Lord Shiva, the Shiva Jwara could understand that he had no means of escape outside surrendering unto Lord Narayan, Lord Krishna himself. Lord Shiva, the greatest of all the demigods, could not help him. What to speak of the lesser demigod? And therefore, Shiva Jwara ultimately surrendered unto Krishna, bowing before him and offering a prayer, so that the Lord might be pleased and give him protections. So by this incident of the fight between the ultimate weapons of the Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, it is proved that if Krishna gives someone protections, no one can kill him. But if Krishna does not give one any protection, then no one can save him. So Lord Shiva is called Mahadev, greatest of all the demigods. Although sometimes Lord Brahma is considered the greatest of all the demigods, because he can create, whereas Lord Shiva can annihilate the creation of Brahma. But both Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva act only in one capacity. Lord Brahma can create and Lord Shiva can annihilate, but neither of them can maintain. So Lord Vishnu, however, not only maintains, but he creates and annihilates also. Factually, the creation is not affected by Brahma because Brahma himself is created by Lord Vishnu. And Lord Shiva is created or born of Brahma. The Shiva Jwara thus understood that without Krishna or Narayan, no one could help him. He therefore rightly took shelter of Lord Krishna, and with folded hand, he began to make the prayer to Krishna. He said, "My dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you have unlimited potencies," he realized. No one can surpass your potencies. And thus you are the Lord of everyone. Generally, people consider Lord Shiva to be the most powerful personality in the material world. But Lord Shiva is not all powerful. You are all powerful. This is factual. You are the original consciousness or knowledge. Without knowledge or consciousness, nothing can be powerful. A material thing might be a very powerful, but without the touch of knowledge or consciousness, it cannot act. A material machine may be a very gigantic and wonderful, but without the touch of someone conscious and in knowledge, the material machine is useless for all purposes. My dear Lord, you are complete knowledge, and there is not a pinch of material contamination in your personality. Lord Shiva may be a powerful demigod because of his specific power to annihilate the whole creation. And similarly, Lord Brahma may be very powerful because he can create the entire universe. But actually, neither Brahma nor Lord Shiva is the original cause of this cosmic manifestation. You are the absolute truth, the supreme Brahman, and you are the original cause. The original cause of the cosmic manifestation is not the impersonal Brahman effulgence. That impersonal Brahman effulgence is resting on your personality. As is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, the cause of the impersonal Brahman is Lord Krishna. This Brahman effulgence is likened to sunshine which emanates from the sun globe. Therefore, impersonal Brahman is not the ultimate cause. The ultimate cause of everything is the supreme eternal form of Krishna. All material action and reaction are taking place in the impersonal Brahman. But in the personal Brahman, the eternal form of Krishna, there is no action and reactions. My dear Lord, your body is therefore completely peaceful, completely blissful, and is devoid of material contamination. So in the material body, there are actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature. The time factor is the most important element in and is above all others, because the material manifestation is affected by the time agitation. Thus, natural phenomena come into existence, and as soon as there is the appearance of phenomena, fruitive activities are visible. As the result of these fruitive activities, a living entity takes his form. He acquires a particular type of nature, which is packed up in a subtle body and gross body formed by the life wire, the ego, the 10 sense organs, the mind, and the 5 gross elements. These then create the type of body which later becomes the root or cause of various other bodies, which are acquired one after another by the transmigration of the soul. All these phenomenal manifestations are the combined actions of your material energy. Unaffected by the action and reaction of different elements, you are the cause of this external energy. And because you are transcendental to such compulsions of material energy, you are the supreme tranquility. You are the last word in freedom from material contamination. I am therefore taking shelter at your lotus feet, giving up all other shelters. So he continued, my dear Lord, your appearance as the son of Vasudeva in your role as a human being is one of the pastimes of your complete freedom. To benefit your devotees and to vanquish the non-devotees, you appear in multi-incarnations. All such incarnations descend in fulfillment of your promise in the Bhagavad Gita, that you appear as soon as there are discrepancies in the system of progressive life. When there are disturbances by irregular principles, my dear Lord, you appear by your internal potency. Your main business is to protect and maintain the demigods and spiritually inclined person, and maintain the standard of material laws and order. Simultaneous to the maintenance of such a law and order, your violence to the miscreant and demons is quite befitting. This is not the first time you have incarnated. It is to be understood that you have done so many times before. Please continue. My dear Lord, I beg to submit that I have been very greatly chastised by the release of your Narayan Jwar. It is certainly very cooling, yet at the same time very severely dangerous and unbearable for all of us. My dear Lord, as long as one is forgetful of Krishna consciousness, driven by the spell of material desire and ignorant of the ultimate shelter at your lotus feet, one who has accepted this material body become disturbed by the three miserable conditions of material nature, because one does not surrender unto you. He therefore continues to suffer perpetually. No end of the suffering cycle, Haribol. So after hearing the Shiv Jwara, Lord Krishna replied, O three-headed one, I'm pleased with your statement. Excuse me. Be assured there is no more suffering for you from the Narayan Jwara. Not only are you now free from fear of Narayan Jwara, but anyone in the future who simply recollect this fight between Shiva Jwara and Narayan Jwara will also be freed from all kind of fearfulness. Very well. After hearing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Shiva Jwara offered his respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet and left. So in the meantime, Banasur somehow or other recovered from his setbacks and with rejuvenated energy returned to fight. This time, Banasur appeared before Lord Sri Krishna, who was seated on his chariot with different kinds of weapons in his 1,000 hands. Banasur was very much agitated. He began to splash his different weapons like torrents of rain upon the body of Lord Sri Krishna. When Lord Krishna saw the weapons of Banasur coming at him like water coming out of a strainer, he took his sharp-edged Sudarshan disc and began to cut off the demon's 1,000 hands, one after another. Just as a gardener trimmed the twigs of a tree with sharp cutters. When Lord Shiva saw that his devotee Banasur could not be saved even in his presence, he came to his senses and personally came before Lord Krishna and began to pacify him by offering the following prayer. So it moved Lord Shiva's heart also. So these are the prayer of Lord Shiva. We continue. Lord Shiva said, my dear Lord, you are the worshipable object of the Vedic hymns. One who does not know you consider the impersonal Brahmajyoti to be the ultimate supreme absolute truth. Without any knowledge that you are existing behind your spiritual effulgence in your eternal abode. My dear Lord, you are therefore called Parabrahman. This word Parabrahman has been used in the Bhagavad Gita to identify you. Saintly person who have completely cleansed their heart of all material contamination by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can realize your transcendental form. Although you are all pervading like the sky, unaffected by any material thing, only the devotees can realize you and no one else. In the impersonalist conceptions of your supreme existence, the sky is just like your navel, the fire is your mouth, and the water is your stamina. The heavenly planets are your head, all the direction are your ears, and Urvi planet is your lotus feet. The moon is your mind, and the sun is your eyes. As far as I'm concerned, Lord Shiva says, I act as your ego. The ocean is your abundance, and the king of heaven, Indra, is your arm. Trees and plants are the hair of your body. The cloud is the hair on your head, and the Lord Brahma is your intelligence. All the great progenitors, known as Prajapatis, are your symbolic representatives. And religion is your heart. The impersonal future of your supreme body is conceived of in this way, but you are ultimately the supreme person. The impersonal future of your supreme body is only a small expansion of your energy. You are likened to the original fire, and the expansions are your light and heat. Lord Shiva is continuing his prayer. My dear Lord, although you are manifested universally, different part of the universe are the different part of your body. And by your inconceivable potency, you can simultaneously be both localized and universal. In the Brahma Samhita, we also find it stated that although you always remain in your abode, Goloka Vrindavan, you are nevertheless present everywhere. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, you appear to protect the devotees, which indicate good fortune for all the universe. All the demigods are discreting different affairs of the universe by your grace only. Thus, the 7 upper planetary systems are being maintained by your grace. At the end of this creation, all manifestation of your energies, whether in the shape of a demigod, human being, or lower animals, entered into you. And all immediate and remote cause of cosmic manifestation rest in you without distinctive future of existence. Ultimately, there is no possibility of distinction between yourself and other thing on an equal level with you or subordinate to you. You are simultaneously the cause of this cosmic manifestation and its ingredients as well. You are the supreme whole, one without a second. In the phenomenal manifestation, there are three stages: the stage of consciousness, the stage of semi consciousness in dreaming, and the stage of unconsciousness. But your Lordship is transcendental to all three different material stages of existence. You exist, therefore, in a fourth dimension, and your appearance and disappearance do not depend on anything beyond yourself. You are the supreme cause of everything. But for yourself, there is no cause. You yourself cause your own appearance and disappearance. Despite your transcendental position, my Lord, in order to show your six opulences and advertise your transcendental qualities, you have appeared in your different incarnation: fish, tortoise, boar, Narasimha, Kesava, etc., by your personal manifestation. And you have appeared as different living entities by your separated manifestation. By your internal potency, you appear as the different incarnation of Vishnu. And by your external potency, you appear as the phenomenal world. He continued, because it is cloudy day to the common man's eyes, the sun appears to be covered. But the fact is that because the sunshine creates the cloud, even though the whole sky is cloudy, the sun can never actually be covered. Similarly, the less intelligent class of man claims that there is no God. But when the manifestation of different living entities and their activity is visible, enlightened persons see you present in every atom and through the via medium of your external and marginal energies. Your unlimited potential activities are experienced by the most enlightened devotees. But those who are bewildered by the spell of your external energy identify themselves with this material world and become attached to society, friendship, and love. Thus, they embrace the threefold miseries of the material existence and are subjected to the dualities of the pain and pleasure. They are sometimes drowned in the ocean of attachment and sometimes taken out of it. He continued, my dear Lord, only by your mercy and grace can the living entity get the human form of life, which is a chance to get out of the miserable conditions of material existence. However, a person who possesses a human body, but who cannot bring the sense under control, is carried away by the waves of sensual enjoyment. As such, he cannot take shelter of your lotus feet and thus engage in your devotional service. The life of such a person is very unfortunate. And anyone living such a life of darkness is certainly cheating himself and thus cheating others also. Therefore, human society without Krishna consciousness is the societies of cheaters and the cheated. Lord Shiva is giving wonderful instructions for all of us. He continued, my Lord, you are actually the dearmost super soul of all living entities and the supreme controller of everything. The human being who is always illusion is afraid of ultimate death. A man who is simply attached to sensual enjoyment voluntarily accepts the miserable material existence and thus wander after the will or the wisp of sense pleasure. He is certainly the most foolish man, for he drinks poison and put aside the nectar. My dear Lord, all the demigods, including myself and Lord Brahma, as well as the great saintly person and sages who have cleansed their heart of this material attachment by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, have by your grace wholeheartedly taken shelter of your lotus feet. We have all taken shelter of you because we have accepted you as the Supreme Lord and thus dearmost life and soul of all of us. You are the original cause of this cosmic manifestation. You are its supreme maintainer, and you are the cause of its dissolutions also. You are equal to everyone, the most peaceful supreme friend of every living entity. You are the supreme worshipable object of every one of us, my dear Lord. But us, always be engaged in your transcendental loving service so that we may get free from the material entanglement. He continued, lastly, my Lord, I may inform you that this Banasur is very dear to me. He has rendered very valuable service unto me. Therefore, I want to see him always happy. Being pleased with him, I have given him the assurance of safety. Now I pray to you, my Lord, that as you were pleased upon his forefathers, King Prahlad and Bali Maharaj, you will also be pleased with him. So after hearing the Lord Shiva prayers, oh, it's 6:59. Somebody should remind me the time when we get into reading. Like today, same thing happened. Some security text me, she has joined. I know she always joined 4:55. I told her, note it that you have joined. And then I don't know. I was absorbed in chanting. I forgot to tell her to chant today. I feel bad that the girl always joined to chant. May Krishna forgive me. So, with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And just think that every time we will come in this material world, the sun is going to become hotter and hotter. It is our choice how much suffering we want. It is better to stop the suffering at this stage. The future is very dark. Unless and until we become so much determined, knowing our future, we should become serious. All other problems that we are trying to resolve with our own efforts will never solve the problem. It will increase the problem. As Prabhupada says, any problem that the scientist and the materialistic will come the solutions to solve the problem, as they have now make so much technology advancement, is nothing but the going toward destructions. Prabhupada says there is no way that they will be able to solve these miseries of material life. And when they try to resolve it, Prabhupada says that rather than solving that problem, it will increase that problem. So how long we want to stay here? It's our personal choice. If you like to be suffer, what can be done? So with those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas who are taking so much austerity, chanting very nicely from Houston, from Fresno, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Sanford, Jacksonville, Loganville, Georgia, not Alaska. I'm waiting for uh, what is the name? Uh, Sachin.